Welcome to the channel, everybody. OGL Schmidt here. My friend Danny Lee OGT is taking care of other business dealing with the channel. So he has left me with a pretty amazing artist to react to. It's a man in black himself, Johnny Cash. I'm familiar with some of Johnny's work. Folsom Prison Blues. I was distracted by my confidant. But yeah, I'm familiar with Johnny Cash. I'm familiar with the man. Familiar with some of his songs. I am not familiar with the song "The Man Comes Around." So Danny has given me a lyric video to react to. So it's Johnny Cash. So it's got to be awesome. So let's check this bad boy out.
And I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder. One of the four beasts saying, "Come and see." And I saw, and behold, a white horse. There's a man going round taking names, and he decides who to free and who to blame. Everybody won't be treated all the same. There'll be a golden ladder reaching down when the man comes around. The hairs on your arm will stand up at the terror in each sip and in each sup. Will you partake of that last offered cup, or disappear into the potter's ground when the man comes around?
Okay, so that dissonant piano chord that came in towards the end. Okay, so right off the bat, Johnny Cash has got one of those voices that is utterly unmistakable. He's kind of speak singing a lot of this. Johnny is a classic example of not needing a gigantic range to be an effective singer. Johnny and a lot of his contemporaries, like Hank Williams Jr., like Willie Nelson, like Chris Christopherson, they're all consummate storytellers. George Jones, Merle Haggard, a lot of these old school outlaw country fellas were just masters at the craft of storytelling. Johnny has definitely his unique spin on this, and there's definitely a darkness to the sound. He sounds like someone who's had a peek into hell and is letting everyone know what's in there. I like the sort of dissonant acoustic strumming in the beginning. It was very rhythmic. And then I sort of like how it became both higher pitched and more melodic and more, pleasant to the ear to the chorus when the chorus came along. And the chorus is basically him saying when the man comes around. So I guess that's maybe symbolizing a salvation of some kind. So I'm going to go back a little bit.
Disappear into the potter's ground when the man comes around. Hear the trumpets, hear the pipers, 100 million angels singing. Multitudes are marching to the big kettle drum. Voices calling, voices crying. Some are born and some are dying. It's Alpha and Omega's kingdom come. And the whirlwind is in the thorn tree. The virgins are all trimming their wicks. The whirlwind is in the thorn tree. It's hard for thee to kick against the pricks. Till Armageddon, no shalom, no shalom. Then the father hen will call his chickens home. The wise men will bow down before the throne, and at his feet they'll cast their golden crowns when the man comes around.
I have mentioned many times how similar a lot of these old country tunes sound to heavy metal, especially in terms of their attitude. There's a lot of lyrics here, and even the spoken bit at the beginning that could be straight off an Iron Maiden album. So, Kicking Against the Pricks, I've heard that phrase. I think that's a Nick Cave album. So I'm not sure what that saying means. It seems to be maybe going against the grain, doing doing things that others don't like, which that's Johnny in a nutshell. He definitely blazed his own trail. Um, I like how they started using like a combination of the sort of the sparkly melodic sound and the rhythmic strumming pattern. Also, like how Johnny went into a much more traditional melodic singing voice, which was a bit lighter, but still had that that Johnny Cash, I guess, depth to it. Um, and the combination of the strumming pattern and again those dissonant piano chords, it it definitely feels epic. It feels biblical in proportions. And of course, he's talking about Armageddon, which I actually didn't realize. If I'm remembering right, Armageddon is not like the actual end of the world. It's like a place where the final battle takes place. But yeah, it's this is a very apocalyptic song, and I happen to enjoy stuff like that. So let's see where it's going. Multitudes of hearts for the base metal.
Voices calling, voices crying. Some are born and some are dying. It's Alpha and Omega's kingdom come. And the whirlwind is in the thorn tree. The virgins are all trimming their wicks. The whirlwind is in the thorn tree. It's hard for thee to kick against the pricks. Till Armageddon, no shalom, no shalom. Then the father hen will call his chickens home. The wise men will bow down before the throne. And at his feet they'll cast their golden crowns. When the man comes around. Whoever is unjust, let him be unjust still. Whoever is righteous, let him be righteous still. Whoever is filthy, let him be filthy still. Listen to the words long written down. When the man comes around. Hear the trumpets, hear the pipers. 100 million angels singing. Multitudes are marching to the big kettle drum. Voices calling, voices crying. Some are born and some are dying. It's Alpha and Omega's kingdom come. And the whirlwind is in the thorn tree. The virgins are all trimming their wicks. The whirlwind is in the thorn tree. It's hard for thee to kick against the pricks. In measured 100-weight and penny pound. When the man comes around. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him.
I've actually always loved that quote. So this is a fascinating piece of music. Um, it feels in some spots almost like a spiritual hymn, and in other spots it feels like a dirge for the entire world, or at least for the let's call them less undesirable elements. Like he is filthy, stay filthy. Um, definitely whenever Johnny says when the man comes around, it sounds like a warning. It's judgment is on its way. So obviously you can make I mean the religious overtones are obvious here. But one could just as easily make this a song about karma, about the idea that life is eventually going to humble you. If you are if you are filthy or you are taking advantage of people or you are hurting people, eventually this will come back to you. If you're dishonest, if you're fake, eventually people will find out. So there's so many I guess so many interpretations of it, but again, it definitely feels very apocalyptic. And I guess the thing about an apocalypse is it's also sort of a cleansing. So it's a fresh start. So one could also see it as a song about that, about jettisoning some of the toxic ballast and going forth into a new age. But the image I keep getting is Johnny Cash in his guitar with the his classic like machine gun pose, strumming with a group of people sitting around while the world burns around him. It's exactly it's a very dark, very apocalyptic song, and honestly, I love it. It's Cash in a nutshell. His vocal dynamics, his ability to tell a story with just his voice and an acoustic guitar, he's legendary, legendary for a reason. And Benny's mic is off, so I can hear him, and he's trying to distract me, but it's all good. But yeah, Johnny Cash is one of those guys where I've heard of him, but it wasn't until Danny started introducing me to more of his music that I realized, okay, yeah, this guy's a legend for a reason. Uh, I love the Highwaymen as well. Love the love his chemistry with Wayland and Hank and Chris, and I love the his personality, his presence. Again, he sort of had that metal uh, doom and gloom about him before that was even associated with metal. So again, love this. This is not necessarily happy music, but it's something that always puts a smile on my face. So thank you all so much. Mental health is real. Music is very often your best support group. Listen to great music as often as you can. We are happy to provide some here on this channel. We'll even tell you why you should like it, and you can let us know in the comments whether or not we were right, and let us know what other songs you would like us to cover or to react to. Johnny Cash is the man. I would love to do more of his stuff, so let me know. So that's going to be all for me. I love doing this song, and I'll be seeing you guys around. Hopefully not in Folsom Prison.